Hey, Laura Lee, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, excited to have you on.
Happy
Tell
to
us
be
who you
here.
are, what you do.
I'm happy to talk.
Yeah, so tell us who you are, what you do.
Sure. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the question. I'm Laura Lee Jones. I am the CEO of Share Marketing. We're located in Kansas City. Share has a very niche place in the industry, the healthcare industry. We build big databases. We put software on top of those databases so we can do front-end analytics and back-end ROI study for patients and prospects in the healthcare industry. It's a marketing agency based in data. It's our
Awesome.
number one thing. We let data do the decision making.
And how'd you get started? I know you started this 30 years ago, which
Yeah, 30
is
years
a
in
very long
October.
time.
I actually was working for another firm for about 10 years and running another firm that was pretty similar in the Kansas City area. And I got escorted out of the building on a Friday. So
It's
four
always a
days,
Friday. Why is it
it was
always
a
on a Friday?
Friday, 3 o'clock, nice and early. 4 days later, I just said, see you in the marketplace. It was my decision. And I went and competed. And now here we are 30 years later, 45 people and doing great.
You know, I heard some stat a long time ago when I first started working, because my first job was with Arthur Andersen as a computer programmer. And I remember getting a call to like a pretty high up within the company on a Friday. So I was joking with everybody. I'm like, they're probably
Probably getting
firing me,
fired.
right? Like I was like, I've never met this dude. It's a Friday. I was just joking around. I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. Fire people on Friday because then they don't come into the office on Monday shooting because they have 2 days to think about it.
Yeah, I'm not.
And then yeah, they let me go. So yeah, it's always on a Friday, right?
Yeah. Well, I have never been fired before, so I was shocked. I was like, I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke.
Yeah. I've been fired from every single job I've ever had.
Good for you. I
Yeah.
love that. That's why you're
And I
an
look,
entrepreneur and work on your own. I mean, it's nice to be able to make the rules.
well, I look back, I was never a quitter. So I think I always made them fire me.
Yeah. It's good to not be a quitter too.
That's right.
I like it. I like it.
Um, so you were working for another company and then you were like, well, screw you guys. I'm going to take you out. Was that kind of the mentality?
Yeah, I mean, I did cry for 24 hours. I was like, I don't get fired. I'm an A player. People want me on their team. And
Yeah.
then after 24 hours, it was like, okay, I'll see you in the marketplace. I know how to do this. I ran your company for 10 years. I know how to find a name, put a logo together, and do all that stuff. So 4 days later, I was in the market. And I
Are they,
closed my first job. It was $65,000. I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was a hospital system in New York City. And I called the woman in the marketing department and I was just like, hey, Liz, don't sign that contract I sent you last week. Sign it with me. I'm now Laura Lee Jones with Share. And so she did. So it was like off and running.
that's awesome. Um, is this company that you used to work for still around?
They are. They are.
Okay, cool. So,
They're not as cool as Share. They're
yeah,
not
well, it can't
as
be.
great of people. In fact, several people I worked with there are on the Share team now because they moved with me when their 2-year non-competes were up. They came to me.
So how long have they been with you? 28 years?
I have someone who's been here almost 30 years because she didn't sign the agreement. Yeah, and some others that have been here 15, 18. I don't. We have really long tenure. Um, we're fortunate. I feel like I have to knock on wood. Clients and employees stay forever.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So, I look, Agency Mastery is
yeah,
a small company. There's four of us, and Stacy's been with me 11 years, and
yeah.
Darby's been with me, who you've chatted with for
Love
over
Darby.
over
Shout out
5
to
years.
Darby.
There you go. So, what's the secret of keeping let's just talk about your team for that
Okay.
long.
I always felt this in my heart, but I didn't know it until I owned the business. But I always wanted, I think I got this from my mom and dad, treat people the way you want to be treated. And so I really took that to heart. And so if I wanted to leave early on a Friday, I was like, well, everybody probably wants to leave early on a Friday. So we have summer hours. So we leave at 2 on Fridays. I need flexibility because I'm going to be a mom. And so I added a daycare to the building, and then whoever had children could figure out that daycare situation. So I've looked at it the way I wanted to be treated. And I think that's the success.
Yeah.
Um,
And you've probably
I'm
seen
super
their families grown
transparent.
up.
Pardon?
You've probably seen their families grow
Oh my
over the
gosh,
years.
so many children graduated from college. Yeah, crazy. From
Yeah.
birth to college.
I remember when
And
Stacy started with me, she had little girls.
yeah,
Now one's almost done college, the other
yep,
one's done college. Like, it's crazy.
yep. Some of them have babies, the babies have babies now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
well, and how have you grown as a leader over the years? Because I know when I started my agency, man, I got so many things wrong. I remember looking back, there was a lot of the right people that I got
yeah,
rid of, but I was just at a different point where I was immature. I didn't really, you know, and I just didn't get it back then. I was just, I never came from a business
yep,
part. Like, I
yep,
never came from an agency. Like, I was literally, I knew nothing other
yes.
than, I could relate to people.
Well, I think in the beginning, at least for me, it was just know what the list is for the day and get it done. And if you can we always call it moving the dirt at Lion's Share. We had to move dirt every day. Who's going to move what parts of this mountain? And in the beginning, I was just very much I'm going to say drill sergeant, this. And then I would try to fit people that were square into a round hole. And as time lapsed and I learned more about how to lead and when not to lead, I realized that everybody has their special secret stuff they do, their sauce, their talents. So we don't ask Laura Lee Jones to take a bunch of detailed notes. It's just not going to happen. But we pair me with someone who's very detailed. So let me think about stuff at a high level. Somebody else, just get me net those things I need. But same thing with everybody else. If I'm working with someone that needs things in a 1 through 10 order, I need to be respectful and give them in the 1 through 10 order. So really, understanding who fits where on the team has been probably one of the things I've learned the most as a leader is just don't, if someone's a grumpy programmer, let them be a grumpy programmer.
Hmm.
Don't try to make them hug you or go to events or things like that. So just let people be themselves and then they're super happy in that role. Um, and I think that's just mostly about using their natural talents and gifts. And then they have fun, right? You can't make someone a cold caller. If that's not your nature, you can't force that. So I guess that's it. That's probably one of the things I've learned.
How have you evolved to be a better leader? Because like, for example, when I started hiring people, I was a shitty manager because I was trying to manage people, but I'm probably a lot like you where I don't want to manage anybody.
I
I
don't.
want them
I
to
don't want to be a
manage
babysitter.
themselves,
Yeah.
right? So how have you evolved as a leader?
Is this bad to say that I don't lead people here anymore?
Yeah.
Everybody has a team leader, and I don't lead anyone. I meet with the team leaders, and we work together on deciding strategy and goals. And then I pretty much get my marching orders from our president now. And mostly what they tell me is smile and dial, Laura Lee. Just stay on the phones, talk to clients, talk to prospects, just do that thing you do to get people to bring revenue in the door.
Yeah.
So, and it's what I love to do. I love going to dinners. I love going to conferences. So I've evolved in a way that I understand I'm not going to be good looking at every invoice that has to go out.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, it's a great example. I had a book came out about a month ago called Operator to Owner, right? And you think
Yes.
about in the very beginning, you're the operator doing everything.
You do
And then
1 through 100. Yep.
right? And then when you get to owner, it's more about, look, the business really doesn't depend on me, right?
Yes.
Like, business can
That's
make
the goal.
decisions. And we all want
Yes.
to get there, but we think, well, I own the company. Like, if you go back to the very beginning or maybe even 10 years ago or 20
Yeah.
years ago, right? Like, you weren't the owner. the agency owned you. Like you were
100%.
tied down,
Yes.
and we want to all get to a point where we can go off into the sunset. That also makes your business way more profitable if people
Yep.
wanted to sell. So what were some of the things that you did in order to get there? Because there's a lot of people listening in, they're driving into their office, or they're
Yep.
flying to go meet a client that they probably shouldn't be doing, and they're like, tell me how, like, was there any steps or things that you followed to get there?
I think number one, I really listened to my leaders. And then when my leaders said, you should not be running the company, you got it this far, but your talent should be over here doing this. And we moved a woman, her name is Sarah, into the president role. And that really, really helped. And to not have ego in that. I mean, if you're, I don't know, I use sports analogies. If you're a closing pitcher, you're not expected to throw 80 pitches. So that's really how I view building the company, is what role can they play, and then let them play it. And then if they don't work out for some reason, give them the metrics you need and then let them figure out the path to get there. And then if it doesn't work out, this was a hard thing for me to figure out, let people go, set them free. They're just not a fit for your organization for whatever reason. And you can't save everybody and you can't make everybody happy. So do the right things, make sure you look good when you look in the mirror. And if you have some toxic folks and you give it an effort to say that we don't do that around here and they can't stop, walk them out the door. There's so many great people out there, so many incredible people that want to work at a company that's fun and has a culture that's the combination of we work really hard, but we also play hard, you know?
Yeah. How long did it take you to figure out the ego thing?
I'm still working on it. I mean, if you've had success in your life, you're like, well, I've made some pretty good decisions, so
Yeah.
I'm probably going to make a good one here, but it's not always true. So I probably would say the last 10 years, I've worked really hard on actually listening in meetings and starting meetings with, we're going to spend the next 55 minutes talking about this goal. We're going to brainstorm and then really brainstorm. Let
Yeah.
people say what they're thinking and really listen. Letting others talk is really an important part of being a leader.
Yeah. The thing I struggled with for many years, especially after I sold the agency, was my identity was tied to being the agency CEO
Yep.
or the owner.
Yes.
Um, and, I thought, well, it's always top down.
Yeah.
And, when I started really kind of figuring out, and I'm still figuring it out, right? Like I'm constantly trying to evolve, especially as all these things are changing so quick. Like quicker than I've ever seen. I mean,
Yes.
I remember when the internet came,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any fear when the internet came because I had nothing to lose,
Yes.
and that's how I gained all the market share that I had. And I feel like it's the same way, the same thing going on right now with AI. A lot of people they have things to protect,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, and I don't really want to adapt or evolve to this new thing, and they're a little fearful, which will take them out. And
Yeah.
then,
It will take you out if you don't
yeah,
evolve and adapt. You have to figure it out.
yeah, and they were like, well, like I'm an agency owner. If I don't do that, what am I? Like when I sold the agency, I was like, I sold being an agency owner. I don't own anything,
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
identity was gone. So it
Yeah.
was
I'm
crazy.
looking forward to that day at some point. I have
Everyone says that until it
I have
happens.
plenty I have plenty of things I've put off because I've been doing this for 30 years. There's a lot of things I don't do anymore that I'd really like to get back to.
Well, let me ask you this: like, why did you put it off? Why didn't you just kind of do it at the same time?
I did. That's a really good question. I did try to do it at the same time. However,
Like,
I
give us an
really might
example. Like,
I
what's
might
one
be
thing
a
you've put off?
workaholic. Here's a great example. I also raised Dobermans. And you can't see this now, but I have two Dobermans in my office with me and two Chinese crested. So I'm really into dogs. I train dogs. as a side thing. And I used to have a dog training school, but I couldn't do both of them because there just wasn't enough hours in the day. And I was going after the bigger money. I couldn't make as much money having the dog school. So at least that was the story I told myself back then.
But you have a
Um,
president running the agency.
I do now, and I do
Oh,
do more dog training, and I
okay.
have like a dog that's 14th in the nation a few years ago, and I have a new puppy sleeping that I'm going to bring up into the top 20 Dobermans. So um, I just didn't make it a priority. That's really the truth. We make time for those things that really matter.
Yeah, every Friday, a buddy and I, we try to do something epic. We call it Epic Friday.
I love that.
And so we put ourselves in a situation where it's hard to do. It's a really good accomplishment, whether it be like snowshoe up this huge
Yep.
mountain, ski down, or whatever it
Yep.
is. And we always kind of like interview each other on the top. And we just talk about like, most people, they spend all this time, and like, because I don't know any billionaires, but he knows a bunch of billionaires.
Yeah. That's a
And
big number, the B.
it's too big of a number, honestly. Like, I mean, I'd like to get there, but like, I don't care. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
any more. But they're 70, they're 80 years old. They've been putting everything off, and now they're trying to do all the things they want.
Yep.
And I'm
The
like,
knees
man,
aren't working like they used to. You can't jump off the top of the mountain into
no,
a bowl. Yeah.
right? So for the past, I think 5 years we've been doing this. I'm like,
I love
look at,
that.
look at all the stuff that we're able to do now, because who knows
Right.
how our bodies or where we'll be years from now. So I
Or
always
even if
tell
we
everybody, it's
will
like,
be 5
do it
years from
now.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I might have to write that down. Epic Fridays.
Epic Fridays. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And then it just gives you energy for everything else.
Yes.
I just don't like it when people put things off. Like,
Yeah.
do it now.
Yeah.
Like nothing's guaranteed.
So true. So true.
And I love the dog. I have a German Shepherd that I've
Love German
trained
Shepherd.
really hard, a Sable.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And she's so smart. If you just
They
heard
are
her
super
bark,
smart.
yeah, she's almost too smart. Like, she's trained us very well, even though my
Yeah.
trainer
They do
in the
a
very
fair amount of
beginning
training
was
of their
like,
humans.
yeah, my trainer, Josh, was like, look, she's going to train you or you're going to train her.
Yeah.
I think she's
That's
done a better
exactly
job
how
of
it
training
works.
me. Same thing as clients, right?
I think there's some similarities. Yeah, setting boundaries, making sure you're clear. It's in fact, I did a talk years ago on something, it was with dogs. I used a dog as an example for, it's like commands 101, being clear as a leader. It was about leadership, and it's very true. Don't be
Yeah.
wishy-washy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as soon as I'm wishy-washy with her, she'll be confused.
She steps into the alpha role. She knows.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I got you.
He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it.
Yeah. It drove him crazy when I gave her a bunch of toys. He's like, you cannot do that.
It's too many toys. That's
Yeah.
true, Jason.
But she's a great dog. So, well, awesome. Well, is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit some of the agencies listening in?
One thing I do share almost always when I'm asked to speak is be as authentic as you can be and be as transparent as you can be. And there is a fine line. But I mean, we had years when we weren't going to do well, and I just told people as soon as I could, there will not be bonuses, which we do usually twice a year. And we had 1 year where we didn't give raises, and I just said, this is just how it's going to be. And then I decided to start meeting with the whole company twice a year and doing what we called alignment meetings. Here's where we're at on our goals, financial, any other goals. And I would say, be as transparent as you can be. Have alignment meetings, tell people where we're at, where we're going, what we didn't hit, what we did better on.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, and how did you address or how did you mentally get over the point of the company not hitting what you wanted to do? Because for many years, for the past, I would say decade, business has been fairly easy. I would
Yeah.
think, like, and it's getting harder again.
Yep.
Since 99, I've had, up until 2 years ago, every single business has grown every year. And then like 3 years ago, the business went down like 2%,
Yep.
and then went down another 2%, another 3%. Right. And at first I was like, man, I've always grown every single
Yeah.
year for almost 30 years.
All your time. Yeah.
Right. How did you mentally kind of look at that and go, like, kind of reframe it to keep
But
going?
I'm proud to say that we have grown every year but one in 30 years. We were pretty flat one year. I think it is mental attitude, just like
Mhm.
we're going to grow every year. I believe that words matter and we can speak into existence. So, and it goes back to the right people in the right spots. So we know if we want Lionshare to grow, I can't go to all these meetings. I can't get mixed up in operations. I just need to stay in that relationship mode.
Yeah.
Smile and dial. That's what my job is. And the second I don't do my job, that's when the numbers fluctuate. The second we're not clear on what job is everybody's job, as you said, there's 100 things that have to get done in every day, maybe more like 1,000. Who's doing number 352?
Yep.
And making sure everybody knows what
Yep.
their part of that is.
You know what got me over it was, there were years at the agency that revenue always grew,
Yeah.
but sometimes profit didn't grow as much.
Didn't grow. Yeah.
And then I started looking at this particular business. Revenue was a little down, but you know what? Profit was up. And I think the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I think when agencies come to us to help, and they're like,
Yes.
my revenue is way down, then I'm like, who cares
What's
about
your
the revenue?
profits look like? Yes, agree. It's not always the top line.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, what's the profit and how much free time were you able to do? And
Yes.
how much fun are you having?
But I
Like,
think that's
that's
the
it.
balance part is what do you want your life to look like? And
Mhm.
I mean, for me, when I had a child, I was almost 40 and I didn't want to be away from the child. So I brought the daycare with me
Yep.
wherever I went. But I
Yeah.
think, no, I think that too, knowing you're the picker of your life, regardless if you're an owner or anything, you pick every day. Where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Even if you work for someone, you can pick again. You can always pick again.
Well, it's a game.
Yes.
It's like, I always treat it as like Monopoly. It's
Yep.
like, all right, I'm going to win some, I'm going to lose some,
That is
but
true.
I have the opportunity to play the game over and over again.
And
Uh,
are you winning where you want to win? Are you able to do Epic Fridays?
yeah.
That's a big win.
Yeah. Well, it's time. Like, the
Yep.
older I get, that means more to me than, oh,
Understand that.
like, if I have to take an hour to explain something to someone to take it over forever versus me just
Yes.
doing it in 10 minutes, like, old Jay or the younger Jason would
Yeah.
just do the 15 minutes. Oh, I don't want to bother this. Now I'm like, no, I'll train you for 2 hours if I never have
Yeah,
to.
because I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, so
And you do it better than I do.
yeah, well, I learned to delegate outcomes rather than tasks.
Perfect. I agree with you.
And it made a big difference when and sometimes I delegate tasks. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it
No,
just like,
yeah, we're all evolving and learning, right?
yeah, it's like, and then you look back and you're like, oh shit, I gave Stacy a task where
Yeah.
I should've just told her, here's the outcome I want. Go figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I trust you. You manage yourself. Like
Well,
go
and
figure
back
it
to what I
out.
said earlier, knowing what people are good at. Some people are really good at tasks. Give me my 10 tasks, I'll check them off. Other people are good at, let me think through the best path to get those tasks done
Yeah,
and knowing who those people are.
exactly. Well, cool. Well, awesome. Well, Laura Lee, thanks so much for coming on the show. For everyone listening in, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it out. And check us out at agencymastery.io. And until next time, have a swank day.